You would do that, you stupid thing.
You stupid bitch.
Svetlana, you stupid bitch. I don't know. He's trying to sound Russian. I don't know.
I don't know either. I'm tired.
That's fine. It's always we're always tired when we do these.
It's always tired in Philadelphia.
Yeah, that too. Oh lordy. So what is up, YouTubeverse? How's everyone doing tonight? Don't answer that. I can't hear you. So we are back with another Two Idiots Talk for an hour, and today's topic, first off, will be we're going to be show ourselves to be the big weebs that we are.
We've already shown that.
Well, we're just going to continue stressing it then.
Okay.
Basically, saying that we're going to talk about there's an anime called Isekai Quartet, which includes.
I think most people have heard it. It's a very mainstream anime.
Let's just put it out there because we don't know what our viewers haven't seen.
To be fair, all of these are fairly mainstream anime.
Two of which are represented by our avatars.
I get best girl Tanya Dogorichov.
I get best boy Demiurge from Overlord, and yours is from
Yojo Senki,
or Saga of Tanya the Evil. Just
kind of a weird way of translating. Yojo Senki
doesn't seem like there's enough words there translating to that much bigger sentence.
No, Yojo Senki, if I remember right, it's Military Chronicles of a Little Girl.
Interesting.
Which is a kind of a weird title. Kind of, I don't know. I think it works better in Japanese.
Like that literally feels like it could go into a whole different story.
Yeah, it could be anything.
But anyways, before we get into that, I'm just going to go off on a few things here.
A few padding tangents.
A few little tangents. One being is that you'll, for anybody who does watch these, you'll notice there wasn't one last week. We're going to, for the lack of better ideas, basically, we're doing this bi-weekly from now on. So the 2 days talk for an hour will not be every Sunday, it'll be every second Sunday. We'll find something entertaining, hopefully, for you guys on the every first Sundays. So.
I guarantee nothing.
There will be something. I just don't know if it'll be entertaining.
That's what I mean. I don't guarantee it'll be entertaining.
But anyways, just basically to keep us from burning ourselves out of ideas for the.
Because there's points where we're just like we're looking at each other at work. What
the hell do we talk about?
Like, Taylor, it's been a week. It's Friday afternoon. Did you think of anything? No. Did you? No. And then we have to rush something on Friday night. We're like, I don't know. We just talk about anime and manga for an hour.
This is what we know. So, go into it though. We'll let's see. What was the other thing? I should mention that before this one, there'll be. I'm going to put the Final Fantasy IX up. So we did have another one this week. So going from that, we will keep doing it. It hasn't gone away. We just got. I don't know, things happened.
We started doing a whole bunch of other shit.
Yeah.
We did a fighting game thing. Clayton lost the footage.
I don't know if I lost the footage. I feel like it just stopped existing.
I think that means you lost it.
I didn't lose it. It ran away.
So you're saying is that you lost it?
No.
Oh God.
I can't lose something that leaves of its own free will. There you go.
That's deep, man. Fuck.
Anyway.
I'm gonna smoke my invisible joint.
Smoke your invisible marijuanas.
You're
Mary Jane.
I injected 10 marijuanas today.
And now you're dead. Other than that, we're going to keep on with things there. Soon, Wood Smash will come to a close. Another couple weeks, I believe, of footage.
Until something else happens. Yeah. Until we get more fighters. And
even then, it won't be a long-term thing. I have some ideas for replacements in that place, and I will, you'll just have to wait and see.
We'll have to see, guys.
I will say also thank you to the people who are tuning into the Loot Crate unboxings there.
There's an astonishing number of them I saw when it first got uploaded. It was like, no views?
They're being good. There were also AJ, who is the benefactor for the Loot Crates themselves, has actually been doing a little free advertising for us with his friends, family, and a few sites too. So.
Sick.
So we owe a lot to AJ there. Hey, if you're listening to this, AJ, good on you. I can't wait to work with you on the next one there. So, yeah, I hope you guys keep enjoying that there. If you have ideas for other things to do, like in that vein, within reason, I don't make a lot of money, so...
Neither of us do.
Why do you think I'm borrowing AJ's Loot Crates?
Yeah, we don't have money for Loot Crates. We just have money for anime. That's all we have money for.
You have money for anime?
I have money for VHS tapes.
Yes, that might be something we do in the future too.
Hey, there we go.
So, anyways, yeah, that's some plans for the future. There's some stuff I don't want to go into right now because I don't want to promise anything that may not happen.
Considering how Considering we've started, as far as I recall, 2 Let's Plays in my tenure here that were never finished. Doki Doki Literature Club and Jade Empire.
Oh yeah. To be fair, I lost footage for Doki Doki Literature Club.
No, what happened?
And then I found it again after we already gave up on it.
Part of the reason that part of the fuck up was that you changed computers too.
Yes,
so
I
we
changed
lost
the computers, so I lost I think it was the face cam. I think I lost from it.
Yeah, so.
Or was it the gameplay? I think actually no, it was the gameplay. I think.
And then Jade Empire, we mutually agreed that it just wasn't working.
It wasn't really working too well as a Let's Play series.
Yeah.
So it wasn't something to continue with. We want to try to be entertaining, or at least to a certain extent.
We felt that it was sort of like, I don't know, like when you were playing it, you could just feel it's like it's clashing, especially with our style where we're kind of bullshit around a lot.
And besides, we like making the goofy voices, so games where they're fully voiced, I feel like that killed it a bit.
That's half of our appeal.
Yes.
TBH fan.
In fact, just after now, my voice is like wrecked to shit because of the. We did Final Fantasy IX. It was the most narrative one we've had yet.
Probably.
I think it had one battle.
I don't remember a single.
We had a battle right at the beginning, and that was it. We had one battle on the way into Trano. That's it.
Oh my god.
But anyways, so I suppose that's about all I got to say about the channel. Did you have anything you wanted to say?
I think that's it.
Alrighty. So today's topic: whose waifu is better? No. Let's talk about that.
I'd like to put this out there very briefly.
Sure.
Different waifus for different laifus.
And what do you mean by that, Taylor?
No, I mean that it's sort of like different strokes for different folks.
Okay.
Not everyone's gonna agree with everyone's waifu. Not everyone's gonna disagree. Let's leave it at that.
But we both agree on the fact that each other is wrong on the waifu. No.
Yeah, well, obviously, but it's kind of like we take a neutral. We let it slide. We understand that one person is not going to necessarily find the same woman attractive. 2 people are not going to exactly agree on this or on the qualities that make a good human being, a good waifu, a good
non-real human being.
There you go.
Or
a real human
creature being or something, whatever people are into, whatever.
We don't. I don't approve of that.
Hey! You said no judgment.
I don't approve of that.
That's my one judgment.
That's my one judgment.
You can't take it back now, man.
Where am I not taking back?
Your judgment.
I'm so confused. Let's move on.
Exactly.
Let's move on.
And no, we won't be talking about waifus. A man's waifu is a very private and sacred thing. So.
That's right. That's right, Jay.
His is no. Actually, I'm pretty sure we already know what yours is. You blabbed about it when we recorded the videos.
We played her game.
Yes. But anyways, moving forward. So basically, in the show Isekai Quartet, we'll go again. Did we actually finish our description, or do we kind of?
No, we just got weirdly sidetracked.
Okay, so for the people who don't know, despite the fact that it is mainstream, we will go into
It's
that.
incredibly mainstream.
There's a show called Isekai Quartet where... Isekai. I was going too hard into the Q. Isekai Quartet. And basically characters from 4 major series are all Isekai series. Isekai, of course, meaning
another world.
Another world. Basically, the main character is transported one way or another into another world, and there's life. So yeah.
Shenanigans happen.
Yes. So it includes characters from the 2 that we've already mentioned there.
Yojo Senki and
Tanya, which is Tanya, and of course Demiurge from Overlord.
Tanya is the main character,
Yeah.
Yojo Senki, but Demiurge is.
I couldn't find any good good pictures of fucking
Ainz.
I think the one I have is actually the chibi style.
I'm pretty sure it is.
So. But that was a bad time for you to stop talking me to take a drink of water.
Yes, it is.
So no, going on from that, there's also characters from Konosuba, and there's also from ReZero. Now, for anybody who's fans of those, I know there's actually a lot of fans for ReZero, if I think correctly.
Most people seem to like it, though there are like enough significant number of people who seem to dislike it that like. Is you don't really see too many people like making videos like why Overlord is fucking bullshit or why Konosuba is fucking bullshit, but you see that for ReZero, so there's like enough of a hatedom there.
Such a positive fan base.
Well, there is people who genuinely like the show, but there does seem to be enough of like people who just dislike it.
So going into it, anyways, I'm going to tell what I know just to give basics on these characters, like where they come from.
Let's both establish our knowledge.
I think the best. I think best is I will tell them about Konosuba and Overlord, and you probably know more about ReZero than I do. So
I know I know a little bit.
You can give as much as you know about it. It's the one thing that the two of us have not watched. We both have seen at least a little bit of all three of the other ones.
Yeah, because we both finished Overlord.
Yep.
We both finished Konosuba.
Yep. And I've at least watched 2 episodes of Yojo Senki, so I know that.
I made you watch like an episode and a half.
Close enough.
And I've watched the entire series.
Yeah.
The only thing of ReZero...
Which is why I'm leaving describing it to you.
Yes. The only thing of ReZero, I've read the first volume of the light novel series, and I've heard quite a bit of word of mouth. Because I've watched a lot of the reviews of the series to try and get an impression, so I kind of have like a vague idea.
Well, what is the idea? Go into describing it.
Alright, let's talk about...
Might as well start from there. Give us some idea on ReZero.
Alright, so the main character is Subaru, and he just gets magically transported. It's a very typical fantasy world. There's elves and there's fantasy creatures. Like, it's very, very typical fantasy. And his gimmick is that when he dies, he respawns at like a certain checkpoint. It's very video game like. And then once he gets to like a certain point later, like once he overcomes like a certain set of obstacles, then he gets another checkpoint and that sort of thing happens. But he can't tell people about this ability. Like, he physically cannot do it because of a curse. Like, apparently the reason, I don't know if this is like 100%, but I think it's the most common fan accepted thing, is that he was cursed by a witch to have this checkpoint system, and the witch prevents him from talking about the curse. Like, he physically cannot do it.
Weird. I mean, people will still find out just by watching, basically.
No, because every time it goes into like a new timeline.
Oh, really? So it's not just like he's respawning back somewhere else.
No,
he's
he
literally
goes back in time.
Oh my god, how many fucking timelines has this boy created then?
Oh, probably, like, because in the first light novel I read, he dies like 5 or 6 times. Before he finally gets it right. And he dies like horrific, bloody, brutal deaths. Like, his arms get cut off and he's bleeding. Like, it's really bad.
Jesus. Didn't expect it to be quite that brutal.
It's pretty fucked up, fam.
Family ding dong. Moving on, Overlord is, again, like, this is going to be a similar thing for all of them. But like with Subaru, the main character of Overlord, we only know him as Ainz because we only know him as his character on the video game.
I don't think even in like the light novel or the web novel they give him a human name.
I don't believe they do, no, because of course they want to focus... no, wait, I actually think they do give him a name. I can't remember it, though.
But his name, for all intents and purposes, is
Ainz. Yeah, well, Momonga, actually, to be fair,
yes,
when he starts. But it goes for Ainz, anyways. And in his case, he started off in a massively multiplayer dive MMORPG, type like in Sword Art Online, where they literally hook themselves up to the game.
It's full dive. It's not like alternate reality. It's full virtual reality.
Well, it's still alternate reality when he changes. Thing is that the game called Yggdrasil is being shut down, and he's there with his guildmates, and they have created this amazing guild, the strongest, basically, of everybody else in the game. And he's kind of sad, just they're kind of reminiscing and everything about all the good times, but nobody else was able to come. But it's because the one major tenet for that guild was that everybody had to be a functioning member of society. So they all had to hold down a proper job.
And he was a salaryman.
He was a salaryman, yes. We'll get into that later.
Yes.
Anyways, and so he's watching the clock tick down, and then he closes his eyes and opens it, and he's back exactly where he's sitting in his throne, and in the great tomb of Nazarick, which is his
stronghold, basically.
It's the guild stronghold, basically, but it's his now. So, and he ends up in the world there. All the NPC characters, which are like Demiurge and Albedo and all those, which of course only followed orders like you would in a video game, had personalities, so of course surprising, and so on and so forth from there. Want to know more? Watch the anime, read the manga.
We'll read the light novels.
Read the light novels. Yeah.
We'll be discussing things, and we'll bring them up as we continue the discussion.
Going from there,
Yojo Senki.
Salaryman.
Yes, it's the other salaryman. Tanya began as an unnamed Japanese salaryman who is possibly a psychopath. Come
on, we've worked in customer service. Who isn't really?
He is he's ruthless. He's more a psychopath than a sociopath. He's very CEO business management. it like whatever. I'm gonna lay you off. I don't care if you have kids and a family. And
I think that's a high-functioning sociopath, isn't it?
I think it's psychopath. Well, let's talk about psychoses.
No, that's not. Let's move on.
Anyways, so he ends up firing a guy who's underperforming, and he has no problem with this. And then he's going home from work, and the guy pushes him into the fucking train tracks.
Probably deserved.
Yeah, he kind of deserved it. TBH, fam.
Let's be honest here. This character is not a nice person, not a good person.
I think probably the most, in terms of like evilness, it's a toss up between Tanya and Ainz.
I should mention that Ainz is like this fucking full on lich mage. It's the most powerful thing ever, and he is technically an evil character. Although he does not come close technically on the same power of evil. Like, this guy seems a little more concentrated. Ainz has more funny moments.
Yeah. So he gets pushed in front of a moving train, and then next thing he knows, in the light novel, he just gets like whisked into a room, and he talks to an old guy, and he's like, "Hi, I'm God." And then he's like, "This is bullshit. You're not real." And he like is very angry, and they have this philosophical discussion of why this is bullshit. And he's
why
like,
"This guy doesn't exist."
Yes. So
you don't exist.
So former Tanya is just like, "Well, the reason you don't exist, technology has solved everything, and everything's nice and peaceful, so we don't need religion anymore." And God's just like, "Oh ho, do I hear an excuse to send you to another world?" So he sends him. He has a fully conscious adult body that awakens in like a 3-month-old infant in a world that's like World War I.
Okay, so he has a fully conscious adult mind.
Yes.
You said body.
My apologies.
Okay, in a
That'd
child,
be weird.
In a child body. Yeah.
Yes, in the child body. And it's kind of World War I, World War II, like it's kind of in between there.
Alternate history, World War II with magic, basically.
Yeah,
like
there's magic, and he's early on he's plucked out of his orphan asylum to get to be trained as a child soldier to fight in the wars because they need magic soldiers because they can kick ass and chew bubblegum.
And she basically is a magic nuke, as you've put her.
That is the best way to describe her. Is her officers know that she is very strong and very crazy, and that despite her wishes, like all Tanya wants is just a cushy job in the back lines. She doesn't want to, like, she just wants like a desk job, and then she can just sort of ride her.
Well, it's because that's what he knows.
Yeah, he wants like low risk behavior.
Yeah.
But then he gets on the front lines, and in the anime he's having a heck of a time. But in the light novels, because they pump him full of drugs. Yeah,
Jesus.
Yeah. The light novel's a bit fucked up.
I think of the four manga or whatever the stories that these come from, this is the darkest one for sure.
Probably concerning child soldiers, and there's a plot line where
I mean, Ainz has killed hundreds of millions of people, but it still doesn't feel the same.
No, like.
Well, it might be the onus of war sitting on top of it all, too.
Yeah.
And that's always a bit of a dampener for a good mood.
I think it's, like, Overlord's a more... there's some comical
also,
moments.
the fantasy kind of probably takes away from it.
Yeah, the fact that...
Whereas this one is basically adding a fantasy element to already real thing,
it's war,
basically.
But with, like, magical nukes.
Basically. Alright, so I guess that leaves it up to Konosuba, or Kono Subarashi,
Seka Fuku Wo something other.
What the heck does it mean?
God's blessings in this wonderful world.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so you basically start off with Kazuma. He's basically a shut-in.
Hi, Kazuma des.
Yes, hi, Kazuma des. Kazuma is basically this shut-in NEET type person. For those who don't know,
same as Subaru.
Do you want to explain what a NEET is for the
it's
normies?
Not an education, employment, or training. So basically,
he's doing nothing with his life.
Yes, I don't blame him. I envy him. Anyway,
that's what this man is. I pointed my hands towards Taylor because you could not see it.
And also, I'm employed. So
you
I'm
are
not
employed. Yeah.
Neither of us are.
No, I'm nowhere near NEET. But I think both of us kind of wish we could be sometimes. But
oh no.
Anyways, the fact being is that he's there. Now you're gonna have to help me a little bit on the memory on the beginning of the show because I can remember later stuff but not the beginning too well. So he starts off basically staying there. I think he leaves his house for the first time in like way too long to get snacks or something.
Yeah, I think he was going to pick up like a new manga or something. It was something like that.
And something happens to him and he dies?
He sees a girl he's about to get run over by a truck, and he's like, oh shit, I'm gonna save this girl. And then he, like, it's just sort of, in the anime, it's just sort of like white cut, and he's in the afterlife.
Mm-hmm.
And then he meets the goddess Aqua, who's like, You
Yeah.
died, but you didn't die from the truck hitting you. That was a tractor moving like a mile an hour. You died of fright because you thought the truck was going to hit you, and then then you pissed yourself, and then when you got to the hospital, all the doctors and all your family laughed at you.
That's a horrible
It sets
way to go.
the tone for the series.
It really does. And from going from there, you have him basically make a deal with Aqua that, like, she gives him a whole bunch of different ideas of different worlds he can be reincarnated into.
Well, he says it's
And
one
different
world.
things. It's one world, but different ways. Like he could
different
be
bonuses you can get when you go there.
And instead of taking one of the bonuses, he instead
He's
thinks
a
he's
petty
pulling
bitch.
he's being a petty bitch, thinks he's pulling a smart one, and takes her actually instead. It's like, okay, you're coming with me.
And before she'd acted very high and mighty, and then she starts screaming and flailing about.
Well, she was laughing. She's like, "Well, you can't do that." And then her sister shows up.
Well, her not even her sister. It's her
Is it
junior.
It's her junior.
Yes.
Yeah, her junior.
Eris is her junior.
Another goddess. Basically the opposite goddess, if I remember correctly, to the belief system of that world.
Well, sorta, not really.
I don't know. Don't they fight each other over it?
It just does. That's because
Like the people, that is?
well, that's just because Aqua's a petty bitch and her followers are likewise.
Yeah. But anyways, so before she can do much about it, there the other one there, Eris, it was.
Yes, Eris.
Basically comes in and is like, okay, it's happening. Off you go.
Off you go.
And they get their asses landed, and then then Aqua complains.
She screams.
Kazuma
she
tries
cries.
to deal with it, and they meet a couple more characters along the way, and
It's
history.
It's comedic fantasy adventure. It's like nothing is straightforward. Like
I would have to say, of the four of them, it's probably the least serious.
Oh, it
out of all.
absolutely
I'm
is.
sure there's probably still lots of serious stuff in ReZero. You said something
yeah.
about him getting pulled apart or something.
oh yeah, and
apart,
it gets fairly dark in ReZero, like with the deaths and shit, and it's like holy fuck.
Yeah, Kazuma and his team are the latest one. Going back to it anyways, these are the four different areas that are going into Isekai Quartet, which is basically, so far, there's only been 4 episodes of it.
Yes.
That we've been watched up to. And they are basically being forced into a classroom hell sort of situation.
It's like a double isekai.
Yes, basically, yeah. They've gone from the real world to their fantasy worlds back to a real world situation where
like
they're all
kind
in
of
class.
pseudo real world.
And they can't do things to go against the whole schooling thing, or else they might lose their chance to go home.
Yeah, and if they start getting uppity, the teachers let this sort of like brainwash wave.
Yeah, they have some sort of weird little wah
And then they just start. Then they settle down.
and they just kind of what the hell is the noise? The little
And it was like,
wah,
yeah. So I think it was more whack.
just wah. But anyways, so there's that was a good 22 minutes held together.
There you go.
Anyways, so what we've come here now is that there's a part there, and by the way, you overstated that part. That part. Of
I
the
felt the
story.
need to overstate
You
it.
overstated it too much. No, it is.
The weak should fear the strong. I thought it was entertaining. I wanted to
The
overstate
character of Aqua is, of course, a goddess. Therefore, she's in her story.
it.
She's
She
a
has
cleric.
holy magic.
She's
Sort
a
of.
cleric, so she's got
She's an
holy magic.
archpriest. Is the official
She has
name for her?
okay.
Yeah, for her
Basic,
class.
same basic idea. Anyways,
Yeah.
holy magic's channeling. Good at if you go with D&D rules, good at turning undead. And
Which is
stuff
the
like
spell
that.
she uses.
Yep.
And in episode 2, she uses turn undead on.
3.
No, it's 2.
Is it too?
Yes, it is.
All right. Well, anyway, continue.
Anyways, she uses turn undead on Ainz, who is, as we said, like
a
a
lich.
skeleton
A
lich.
skeleton lich. Yeah.
And it hurts. He says that it's a low level
It's like,
spell,
it's just a low level spell.
and it actually hurts him. Like he is like concerned about this.
Yeah. Well, my thing is that the only reason that even had a chance of doing anything to him is because she has a large reserve of power behind her because she's still a goddess.
Though she isn't exactly high level.
She isn't high level. I think she's got kind of a Naruto syndrome going on there. Literally where because we'll take Naruto for a second. He's got a demon fox, and that gives him, at times, at least when he's younger, it gives him bursts of extra chakra and power,
There you go.
so he can pull off really powerful things. In her case, she's a goddess, so I feel like she's probably got some heretofore untapped large reserves of holy power she
It's
can
probably
behind it.
is something, but that was what prompted us to start discussing very virulently who would win in a fight. And then, because we had no topic for tonight, that we decided this would
Actually,
be
we had a couple of topic ideas, but
We
this
do.
is one that pulled through.
I think this is the one that promises the most.
So here's the topic. We're going to talk about we're just going to talk about the topic and not the actual topic.
All right, here it is: Subaru versus Kazuma versus Ainz versus Tanya.
I think we should just do one-on-ones. I don't know. We're going for the mains though, the main characters.
Just the main characters, honestly.
Okay, I know.
If you just throw them at each other.
I know best what Ainz and Kazuma can do.
I can say about Kazuma, he's dying first.
He might be. He might.
I think the only thing that would get him through would be his luck. He has very high luck.
Yeah.
If you manage to use like steel on like Ainz and you got like a really powerful like magic
think about
item.
the fact that a large amount of Ainz' stuff, everything he wears is a fucking high tier magic item.
Oh yeah, it gives an immediate boost.
Yeah.
But I still think the fact that Kazuma's fairly low level, he does have...
Okay, let's put it this way. You have a thief versus a fucking mage, basically, a high-level mage, versus... what is she? A ranger, basically, if you want to put...
Tanya, she's...
uses guns and magic, so she'd be a ranger, basically.
Gun mage.
And whatever the hell
Subaru is. Here's the thing about Subaru.
Does he fight with his fists or something? Or
he just kind of, like, scrapes his way through. I think either... In my opinion... Kazuma or Subaru would be the ones to die first, almost.
But isn't the case of Subaru, isn't that kind of not a long-term thing?
That's the thing, because, like I said, Subaru. I'm gonna say this. I do not think have the skill. Like most of the time, he kind of like works through not dying through like other people. He doesn't use like his skills at fighting to do things. Even though he is sort of I'm going to do the right thing. He's a White Knight type character. So I think...
an idiot.
Yes. I think immediately he would die, almost certainly. Like, take out the weak link. Like, it'd probably take Tanya just, like, shoot him a couple times, and he would probably go down.
So, we're going first shot is basically Tanya taking out the easiest target.
Yes. And
is that her personality thing? She'd take out a easy target, right? Like
probably.
That? I mean, that is her personality thing. And
it would make sense. Either that or like Ainz sort of like eliminate the X factor because you don't know what the fuck he's like. He might pull out some shit.
Ainz isn't the type to impulsively kill somebody right off the bat. He'll do it if it fits the plan.
That's the thing, is what exactly is causing these people to fight? Because I would think
that, we got something come up storyline-wise, we could go with that. There's a talent show. The talent could be showing who's the best fighter.
I'm thinking that the best way to get, like, maximum potential out of this is not, like, in story, is just, like... mysterious.
Are we moving them to yet another world just for our own...
I think it would just... Because, realistically, they aren't going to, like, want to murder each other to death. Like, that isn't just, like, a thing that's going to happen. Yeah. Kazuma is showing a little bit of antagonism towards Subaru, but everyone else is getting along fairly well.
Kazuma does.
Like, everyone else is getting on fairly well, so I'm thinking, like, it's a hypothetical universe where for some reason they all just really want to kill each other, like they've been brainwashed or something, and they all just have to kill each other. And it's that way they're all at full power, they're just using constant effort.
Full power as of their latest...
Yes.
Their latest iterations. I don't know, is ReZero still going?
I don't know about the light novel, but the anime, the first season's done, the second season is going to be like starting like
I know
this
that
year?
We're waiting for Overlord to have a continuation, and Konosuba I think is going to get more, isn't it?
Yeah, it's getting a movie at the very least.
Okay.
I don't think it's getting a season 3, and Yojo Senki's getting a movie as well.
Okay. So, yeah, basically we're going with them as strong as they are at this point. It's not too hard to gauge Ainz' crew because they're already at their max potential.
Though, of course, it's just Ainz.
True. But even in cases of Ainz, he's already has max potential. That's the thing.
Subaru is going to die first, I think is almost certain. Because in like most situations, from what I've seen, he dies like, oh shit, I didn't expect this development, and then he dies, and then he goes back and sort of works around it.
But I would say that if there's anybody to pull the trigger first, it's probably going to be Tanya.
Oh, probably. Like, she's just like, oh, it's a dumb dude. Just fucking murder him.
Weak link, take him down first. He won't be a bother later.
Yeah, and so of course in that timeline he dies and then he loses.
Mm-hmm. Now I'm feeling that Kazuma would probably take to the shadows in this case and try to stay out of view range.
Because if I remember correctly, he does have a stealth ability.
Yes.
Because I've read, what's the most recent? I think it's the 5th or 6th light novel I've read.
He does have
Most
some
recently.
magic, too.
He does have some magic. It's steel. He does have, like, bind. That's fairly... But it's all, like...
It wouldn't work on Ainz.
No, it's all...
It's way too weak on Ainz.
It-
But it would probably work on Tanya.
Probably. But, like, it is pretty weak is the thing. It would... That's, like, the one thing...
Kazuma has one chance against Ainz, and that is stealing his gear.
Yeah, is using his incredibly high luck stat to steal something really fucking useful.
And the probably the best thing that he could hope to steal from Ainz would be the wish ring. If he has it on him and not just in his little pocket dimension.
That's the thing.
And
Is,
the thing is, if he can take
the
the wish ring would allow him to basically wish for anything, including killing the two things in front of him.
he'd probably just be like, "I want to win," and
Basically.
yeah. So that he's the wild card. Is Kazuma?
I think the real battle is between Tanya and
Ainz.
Ainz.
I think the reason I want to give the edge to Tanya is because of
Because of nepotism.
that and also mobility. Like, how high can Ainz fly?
Ainz can fly. Well, he has a ring for that, so he can fly up probably as high as he needs to. He doesn't need to breathe, so he could probably go out of stratosphere. But they brought up in the show that there's probably a field around this place, so they can only go so high.
That is, well, I think in this hypothetical universe, they can just fly
We're just gonna
everywhere.
ignore that?
It's just
Okay.
like an empty. It's just like a big field. They can just
Fair
go
enough, fair
anywhere.
But yeah, he seems to be able to be fairly maneuverable. I believe he uses his flight powers a bit when he fights Shaltir. And as for a fast opponent, she is also an extremely fast opponent. So
Because Tanya,
he was able to counter it.
his Tanya is like flying at like fighter jet levels, like in terms of like fast, in terms of like
Now she
altitude.
can go fast and high altitude, but how is she at actual agility? Speed is one thing, but agility
Very.
is another. Agility needs to be
She is
zipping around.
She's
back and
quite
forth.
agile. I can't remember what the hell it's like the Silver Comet or something is what they call her, is the nickname because she is a fucking like beast in the air. That's
So definitely aerial battle. We'd probably have to give it to Tanya on that. Ainz can fly, but it's not his natural area.
On a ground level, it's probably going to be Ainz because like Tanya's entire thing, the whole like mage squadron, is that they can get up in the air and fly around, go behind enemy lines, and go this way and dive bomb people.
We come into one problem here, and I call it the Batman problem. See, Ainz's most powerful thing is being prepared.
That is the thing.
Much like Batman, hence the name.
Yes.
And the thing is
there's
that-
a new problem. You should coin it.
Hence, the thing is that I'm pretty sure somebody has also already coined
Probably.
it. And hence, the problem is that are we taking into account that Ainz knew this battle was coming and got ready for it?
That's because if he, in the case that he didn't, like it's just sort of spring on him, and we go with like he has a just sort of a scattered assortment of items and things, it could go either way.
He has a high magic defense, so even as powerful as Tanya is, he could probably take some hits and ready some spells
certainly
while
he would.
she's firing.
Like the best chance she would have is like while he's distracted or something. Like let's say like Kazuma steals an item. Hi Kazuma des. that's all he says. He's like a Pokemon. Ainz.
Why does he just say that? I don't remember.
He apparently it's an ad lib. Like it's not even in the light novel. It's in the anime. They thought it was really funny when his voice actor is just like, "Hi, Kazuma des." But
Okay, anyways, going back.
anyways, yeah, Overlord when Overlord's distracted, when Ainz is distracted with like Kazuma or something, Tanya's best chance would be to like get behind him and then nuke the shit out of him with like her strongest shit.
Mind you, his back is no less defensible than his front when it comes to his magic defense.
That's the thing. Is just like while he's unprepared and like.
Yeah.
Like, that's the best chance that she would have, certainly. But if, like, it's full-on frontal, then he would certainly have a hell of a chance.
Full frontal, eh?
Oh, boy. Bone Daddy and
a
Sally
little
Man
girl.
Lolly.
So, yeah, no, we aren't going to go there. But
Just, you know it exists.
we need to think here, because I'm just trying to think of what the strongest attack he's taken is, because it's really hard for anybody in the world he's in to do a strong enough attack against him.
Yeah, because most of the time, like, they can barely do anything against him.
His strongest attack against him, sadly, actually came from one of his own, I think.
Probably? I can't really, like, think of anything. Because most of the time... Yeah, all of Ainz's his cohorts are like the strongest in the world.
Yep.
So it's going to be something from his fight with Shaltir.
Yeah. It's going to be very similar, I think, in his fight with Shaltir, except that she's a ranged attacker instead of a instead of a close range attacker.
Yeah, Tanya's gonna have to be constantly moving back and forth and shooting and...
And he has spells that are auto-homing or in our area of effect that doesn't matter how fast she moves, they're going to hit her.
And that's the thing, too, is Tanya does generally need to aim. Like, if it's like a big area, like, fuck off, like, holy shit, this is the biggest fucking attack in the universe, obviously she doesn't need to aim.
No.
Which is probably what she'd be going for.
Yeah. And in the case of his there, I mean, most of his, I believe his spells are usually keyed to whatever he's targeting, basically what he's looking at. So any that are like that, or otherwise, yeah, like the big old fuck off spells like that would be just like, this area needs to go away, kind of thing. His strongest move is the goal of all life is death. And if I remember correctly, it basically screws up time, so he actually gets the ability to ready one really god tier ability, or world tier spell, which is the strongest, immediately. But I think it does a lot of damage to him, or it leaves him very defenseless up until that, but he can use a ability like that, and if he can pull off that move, it's kind of a trump card. It would probably wreck everything.
That is the thing, is it like, if...
Let's admit it, any tiny bit of backlash from the fight between these two would immediately kill Kazuma.
Oh yeah, he's like, he's gonna get like caught like on the edge, he's gonna be fucking dead.
I think we can literally safely say that even if Kazuma stole one of his artifacts, it wouldn't help.
It probably, unless it was... there's not, like, unless
He
it was the
wouldn't know
wish ring, like...
See, that's the thing, the wish ring, yes, but Kazuma doesn't know what these things do.
Because, yeah, he wouldn't know...
Ainz knows what all of his artifacts do.
And Ainz wouldn't be like, oh no, you stole my wish ring, don't say wishes.
Well, he might.
That's the thing, is like, would he accidentally let it slip, like, Kazuma, no, you've stolen my wish ring, if you say it exactly this way, it will let you use wishes.
I don't think he'd say it in that way,
No.
but he, I don't know, we'd probably get one of his comical, his mouth drops open.
But that wouldn't really, like, it's like, oh, it's an important artifact, that wouldn't really tell him anything of how to use it, or what it's used for, or...
Now, does he actually control what he steals, or does he just go in the general direction and take it? Kind of thing?
Completely random.
So, yeah.
Though with luck, it, like, his luck's, like, it affects him getting better items.
Okay. Well, that's usually how it goes in video games, so...
Yeah, like, obviously he had, like, incredibly high luck, so he's
Should
more
mention
likely...
the world that Kazuma and Aqua are is basically like a video game. It's ruled by a lot of rules that are the video game rules.
It's like a really, like, laid-back D&D game, where, like, everyone's just having a good time, they're joking around, the characters are kind of jokes, like...
Yeah.
It's
just crazy.
It's a interesting
So we've come down
comparison.
to just the two of Tanya and Ainz. And I really think it's a stalemate, honestly, because they're both really. Okay, here's a question: How do they have? Do the soldiers have any type of magical resistance?
Yep.
Okay.
They can bring up like
Shielding.
giant magical shields, and it can
Now,
like
how much damage? How much damage can those shields take?
like all of it. It depends too on how strong the attack
Doing
is.
It is strong attack.
Like obviously, like. Because Tanya's been able to block like a ton of shit, like because she's an incredibly powerful soldier with lots of magic.
One thing I can say for sure Ainz wouldn't be able to do is summon the baby goats.
Yes.
Or even one of them, because he needs a certain number of people dead to do that, basically.
There's only two people dead, like, right beside him.
His baby goats are basically some sort of Cthulhian horrors. Yog something or others.
Yog-Sothoth?
I think it might be. That's the mother that creates them or something like that. But anyways, yeah, you can summon the Cthulhian horrors and... fucking that, but he needed a large amount of souls to do so. So there's no way in this situation he'd be able to do that.
No. I think
yeah, that's at least one plus to Tanya's side, is that she's not going to be taken out by a big horror.
no. It's basically going to depend on whether or not Ainz can be prepared.
Here's the big thing. We need to remember one thing. Even without the horrors, remembering the fight against Gazef.
Yep.
He stopped time.
Yeah.
He literally just stopped time.
And just killed him.
And went over, and just had nice little talks, like, you did a real good job on this, blah, blah, blah. But, oh well, it's time, and...
That's the thing, is, like... Is that, like, a resistible thing? Is that, like,
I don't think it is, because it's a global ability. Remember, it stopped everything around him. It didn't just stop Gazef. So, I feel like he just need to pull that off, either get out of the way, which she's doing, or literally just walk over to a reaching distance or fly over there, and just go, and slit throat, or whatever.
That is the thing, is, like, if that is, like, a... Because if it's just like a be-all, end-all, win-all, it kind of brings up the question of why he didn't use it in other cases, besides like the out-of-universe reason of the author hadn't thought of it yet.
Or maybe maybe it wouldn't have been fun.
That's fair, but
think
like,
about some of Ainz's first battles. He was testing his power and seeing if he still had all his abilities.
Well, sure.
And he was just kind of a case of like, really, this is the best they can do? Okay, fine, boom.
Well, sure, you think with like Shaltir, where it's like someone that could actually maybe in like a million years pose a threat to him.
He had to do. Well, Shaltir is the strongest of all the Guardians. Actually, I think she's even stronger than Albedo, but there's more to that than anyway, so we won't get into that.
That's a whole other thing.
But she's one of the strongest of the Guardians of Nazarick. So of course he had to actually be ready for it because she had actual chance of killing him. So
that's the thing, is if he could have used like the time stop power there, you think he would have done it, and then just...
I think it might be resistible then. Because thinking about it, then I think maybe that was the reason he didn't do it. But then again, Goal of All Life is Death has a bit of a time fluctuation part to it, and it worked on her. So maybe it's just because it's a really powerful spell?
Yeah, it's up in the air.
Now, a shield is one thing, but I'm talking about personal resistance. Now, do the soldiers have that?
I don't think that's taken into account. Like, as far as more, it's just like...
It's more of a physical shield stopping
Yeah,
thing.
they just, like, summon a big old shield.
It seems like their magical abilities are more of a hammer to a nail sort of thing. Basically,
yeah,
boom.
It's basically just like a big nuke, a big artillery, a big shot, or a big shield.
So yeah, it's not quite so subtle as some of Ainz's spells.
No, it's not like stop time and do this thing.
He is a lot more versatile, I suppose is the best way to put it. So we're going with that there. I'm sorry, going through all the things we've done there, I really have to say, because of his goddamned overpowered nature, I think Ainz still wins this.
I think that Ainz...
Tanya has some good power behind her because of all those shots, but the man can basically tank a nuke. Magically.
That is the thing.
If it's magic especially, he can tank it easily. As long as it's not holy. That's why I did ask you that one point, is if it's a holy, if there's actual proper elements
because that's
to them.
what I'm not certain of, because Tanya draws her, like, all her... Because it's not clear where the magic comes from. It's just magic. Like, there's no, like, elements or anything, but Tanya draws, like, her big fuck-off attacks from Being X. And Being X claims to be God. In which case it would be holy.
I feel like it would be considered a divine ability.
But here's the thing.
Unless he's not a god, but a demon.
Yeah, because in the light novel, Being X is far more like Satan than anything else. Like, and he kinda is a little bit in the anime. In the anime, he's definitely more like a godlike figure.
Yeah.
So it's kind of hard to tell. Like, it's up in the air.
So I would say it's probably more likely it's going to be unholy damage than holy.
I don't think it's going to have any kind of element as the thing.
At the very least, it's just going to be basic non-elemental.
That's the
just
thing
pure
is,
energy,
it's
basically.
like translating like game systems from one setting to another. It's like it just doesn't fucking work. Because we're basing all these on like all these like assumptions. It's like, all right, so this is
it's the best way to try to compare and contrast things is to go with what you know. And we know video games, so.
Yes, I would say that probably, in conclusion, Ainz would almost certainly win, but I think there is a chance for Tanya.
She would give him a chance. She would give him a run for his money, mostly because in the element of surprise, because she has the speed to she can overspeed him easily.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
But he has many different ways of dealing with different kinds of things, like. I mean, any type of physical thing, like any regular gunshots from that gun, is not going to do anything to him.
Oh yeah, she's not going to be using any regular gunshots.
It would only need to be the magic shots that would have even a chance of doing anything.
Yeah.
Remembering the fact that not even magic weapons can do anything to him. There's one where he fights an assassin, what the hell is it, Clementine.
Right.
And she literally stabs him right in the, eye sockets of the thing there with two elementally enchanted swords. He gets burned, and I think was it frozen too, or something like that.
I think.
And it does nothing to him. It did nothing to him. He just takes the swords out of his eyes and is like, whatever, and kills him.
That could have been a case of just her being
low
too
level
under level.
enchantment, or the weapons having a low level
enchantment.
Yeah,
that's the thing is.
And that brings us to is like, what level enchantment does the gun have?
What? That's the thing is the time stopping thing too. Like, is this a resistible thing? What level is it? What kind of?
I feel like if it's a resistible thing, it's not going to matter. Because, as you said, there's not been really anything showing that they have any real proper personal resistance to spells.
Yeah,
because it's hammer and nail, not subtlety. So
because like would like because they can do like a big like bubble shield. Would that do anything?
That
I
wouldn't,
don't
because
know.
I wouldn't think that would, unless they could literally surround themselves completely, like literally bubble themselves off without touching any part of the world around them. They are in their own little zone. Maybe that could, because it would reflect back all the magic around it.
That's basically what it is when they do like their higher tier like shielding. It's just like a bubble of like really powerful shielding.
It's still kind of there because that I still don't really believe that would do it though, because this is like a reality altering spell.
Yeah,
so like I don't think the shielding would help. The shielding is meant for more physical threats, like actual spells being lobbed and stuff. So I don't know. She has the edge and speed. She has more than enough power to probably equal him or get close to it, just in power level. But he's just too much more well versed in different more subtler magics that could mess with her.
I would say,
and he has a much larger arsenal.
Oh, absolutely. I would say in a case like in like Deadliest Warrior, where they do it like multiple times to like in their simulation, quote unquote, where
made by Slytherin Studios.
Yes. Like 9 out of 10 times, Ainz would win, but there'd be like the one time where Tanya would win.
Yeah. Poor Subaru and Kazuma.
But here's the thing about Subaru, is that Subaru might actually have a chance at winning this, because he can go back an unlimited number of times and keep figuring this out.
We're giving him the point for being able to go to a different timeline and find a way to kill them.
Like, he just resets every single time. The entire universe just resets and goes... I think in that case, he could eventually, even if it take like 1,000,000 years, he could find a way to kill them somehow. So we give the honorary victory to Subaru.
But the true victory goes to Ainz Ulgon.
Yes.
Let's go for a little side adventure quickly here.
I suspect I might know what you're saying. The right hands of the various...
The right hands of the various ones. And I'm not talking about Albedo, although she technically is. I'm talking about the true right hand of Ainz, Demiurge. I didn't take his avatar without good reason. He's also my favorite character. So.
There you go.
So are we going to go the right hands of each, all four of them?
I think so.
So Demiurge.
Demiurge. For Tanya, it's Victoria. Yes.
Is it that airheaded girl?
Yes.
Oh boy.
For Kazuma, it's Aqua.
Okay.
And then for Subaru, it's Amelia.
Which one's Amelia? The chick with the little spirit?
Yes, the familiar.
Familiar? Okay.
I'm going to be straight with you here. Victoria's fucking dead.
Oh, that's Tanya's one.
Yeah, she's fucking dead.
I was going to say, like, does she have any outstanding skills?
She's...
At all?
Like, she's not bad. Like, she's a decently good... Like, she's above average. She gets, like, medals, and she's, like, a good fighter. Like, that was a good warfighter person. But she's not... No, she's not even near Tanya.
She's good. She's very, very normal. Very average, is what you're saying.
I'd say she's above average, but not
only
like...
slightly.
Yeah. She's like a 6.5 out of 10. So she's dead.
Just to existence, basically.
Yep.
Being near these other three. We'll just say quickly that Demiurge thought it necessary to get her out of the way.
Yes. She would...
I'll blame it on my boy Demiurge.
She dies first, like, almost certainly.
Because I don't believe the other two would actually take the upper hand and try to kill her.
Oh god, no. Aqua's retarded.
And I don't think
Amelia's far too nice.
She seems too nice. So yeah, I would say that Demiurge is the most likely to say, okay, you're going first, bye.
Yeah. Aqua is, like... I'm gonna be honest, it's almost certainly going to be Demiurge winning this.
Kind of, because, like, Aqua, if it was against...
If it was against Shaltir
or Shaltir, she would have a chance.
Because, as you saw in Isekai Quartet, she killed Shaltir.
Did she kill? I thought Shaltir just freaked out because somebody attacked.
No,
Ainz.
she actually died.
Are you sure? Because she didn't even attack Shaltir.
Yeah, well, she did
turn
undead.
You don't remember this fact, do you? Shaltir has a tendency to have fits of fainting whenever something bad happens to Ainz. And that's what happened. She literally is just like... Oh,
but her turn undead is in the whole area, though.
It looked like it was pretty aimed to me.
No, in all the show, she does turn undead, and it's just an area attack.
Yeah.
So
I'll go with you on that, one way or another.
She killed Shaltir, but that's not going to help her against Demiurge.
No.
Demiurge is going to kill her, almost certainly. Unless, like, Aqua can perform like, some illusion shit.
She does her little water trick there.
Sasuga Aqua-sama.
Here's the thing: is that I feel. Let me just illustrate for you how I feel. Demiurge would probably kill them all. He would take out the first one, obviously.
Yeah, Victoria's dead.
Quickly. Victoria's
dead.
out of the way. Like this is a road bump. Get it, a speed bump. Get it out of my way. He would go after. Aqua next.
Yep.
Just because she is a danger to Ainz.
She might.
She is a danger to Ainz.
Yes.
So therefore, she needs to be removed from the plan. He probably would be a little creative with that one. But I feel like for the two of them, after he killed the first one, he would first and foremost use his fucking control, his voice control, where you can take them, make them bow, and then basically humiliate them before basically just outright killing them.
That's the thing, is would he bother with that?
Killing them, or
with the humiliation? Or
he's actually probably more likely to actually do the humiliation than he is to kill them, because
I suppose so. Now that I think about it,
there's always need for more sheep.
That
That's a little thing, by the way, to the show.
That is a thing that he would. That is a thing that he has done.
The thing is that they talk about something in the show called Abelian sheep. They're interesting sheep that walk around on two legs. It's not until my second or third time watching the show that I figured out they meant humans. Imagine what kind of scroll quality they get from the skin of a goddess.
Fair enough. Amelia, I don't know a ton about Amelia.
Well, she's elf, isn't she? Or
Half elf.
Yeah.
And she's got.
Might make for good scroll quality too.
And she's got some decent magical power, but she's no better than Aqua as far as I can remember. She's at least equal.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's Demiurge.
It's Demiurge. We literally stuck a demon in with humans.
I think the only case where the secondary characters would win against an overlord character would be Cocytus.
And Cocytus can be fooled because he's very straightforward. So you could literally fool him.
He takes a lot and dishes out a lot of hurt.
He is fucking strong. He is exceptionally strong.
Yeah. But he's not the smartest. He's not the most technical.
No. Something Ainz is trying to teach him, basically.
You could probably send darkness to distract him, and he just wails on darkness. And then while Ram, because apparently both of them are very strong and also slightly crazy. Because in some
I feel like Ram would have the. Wait, which one's the serious one?
Ram.
Ram. I feel like Ram would have the better chance on that, just because she's more serious.
They just sort of, and then you could probably group Tanya's 4 lieutenants together just to get one big fuck off shooting thing, and then they could probably take him. But I think that's it.
I think that he's the only one because of his straightforwardness and lack of planning and such like that ability. So.
The twins.
Are you talking? Aura and Mare.
Yeah. It's one of them, maybe.
Actually, I'd like to say twins against twins, basically. Oh. Aura and Mare versus Rem and Ram.
I don't know enough about Rem and Ram to make a conclusion. Is the thing.
Are they more physical though? The little bit you do know.
Yes. Okay. From what I understand, there's one time where they just murder the absolute fuck out of Subaru.
Okay.
Shit happens, man.
Sure enough. I know quite well, at least in the fact of Mare, that he's got... By the way, Mare is the one that looks like a little girl in a skirt, but it's actually a guy.
Based in red pill.
And the other one, of course, is Aura, which is a girl dressed up in a more...
Extremely based,
outfit.
Extremely red pilled.
Anyway, that's a meaning for people who don't know anything. I know what you're talking about.
Cool.
But... No, basically, we know that Mare is pretty strong. He literally just took that little wooden staff of his and broke a woman's leg, no problem, shunk.
To be fair, it was just a regular woman.
Regular woman, yes, but, that's just a stick. That thing should not have been able to break somebody's leg that badly.
I'm assuming it's
It's probably an artifact.
Or of some kind, anyways. Because, if you give me a stick, if it's a solid stick, I could probably break somebody's leg with it. If it's just an average adult woman, I could probably do it.
But we don't maybe not ignore the fact that wasn't a sentence. Maybe we shouldn't ignore the fact that Mare has the ability to literally just open up the fucking ground around him.
That's true.
The difference being is that Mare is the more magical one, or is a Beastmaster more type. So she would usually probably have a monster of some sort nearby, or a way to summon one.
Because she would have to be, otherwise the fight would just be
And that would mean Ram
Pointless?
would have to fight 3 things.
Yeah.
At least. Depending
And
how many Aura had.
And I'm not aware of how strong they are, because apparently, from what I understand, they are pretty fucking tough. But I don't know exactly what the limits of that are. I would just watch ReZero at this point, just so I can... It's like we need to get the addendum to this. We could have the conclusion.
A year later.
Yes.
But,
It's only 24 episodes.
Is it only really 24 episodes?
Yep.
Yeah.
And then the second season's coming out whenever the fuck that is. I think it's late
whenever
this
it
year,
feels
next
like.
year.
Whenever it feels like.
Yes.
So yeah, we go on that there. I'd probably edge it to the twins for the like, okay. Sorry, Overlord twins for that.
Which ones?
The Overlord twins.
Okay.
For that one, just because of their, again, they like their master, they're very versatile and powerful fighters. So it comes down to it. When it comes down to a fight, it's sad to say, but the Overlord characters are the best ones to go for it. The Tanya ones can be versatile and such with their abilities. The ReZero ones, we just don't know enough.
I don't know enough about them to make any kind of serious conclusion.
And Kazuma and his crew are just fucking useless.
No, the only reason they succeed is through pure bullshitting.
Megamin might have a chance of taking out one of the lesser ones there with an explosion, but then she's down.
Then she's down for like the rest of the day, and
Yeah.
there's no point.
Literally, somebody could survive and come over and go stab.
Yep.
That's it.
Like, one of them could be on their last legs, and all they have to do is probably just kick Megamin really hard.
And that'd be it. So yeah, like Kazuma's crew, as funny as they are, and as interestingly powerful in some ways as they are, they're just trash.
The fact that they managed to
Comparatively.
kill a bunch of Demon King's generals somehow.
I feel like most of that was Kazuma's luck.
Kind of. Almost certainly.
So I guess there we have it. I think Overlord takes the cake on this one.
Overlord is overpowered.
And I mean, that's the whole idea of the show.
That's kind of the idea.
So long story short, this whole hour has been here to tell you, go watch Overlord.
It's for me. It's been telling everyone to go watch JoJo Senki because nobody's fucking watching it, because it's nowhere near as popular as the rest of the shows.
What can I say? Nobody likes war.
Fucking pussies.
But for all, as an ending bit here,
For all the jests.
all intents and purposes, all of them are good shows. I'm going to say that about ReZero 2 because it has a major following, so I'm going to guess it wouldn't have that if it wasn't a good show.
You say that.
Yes, I understand how fan bases work, Taylor, but I'm just going to put it out
All
there.
right.
It's it's a good show.
Okay.
We are going to probably end up watching it sooner or later.
Yes.
But going from that, Overlord is an amazing show. I may be biased, but I'm just going to say it outright as I love the show. It's very well put together.
There you go.
Yojo Senki looks to be very well put. It's very well put together. It's an interesting take on the whole thing, where it's fucking Salary Man, a little girl's body.
It is arguably my favorite isekai show in terms of being an actual isekai. Like Konosuba could just be a standard fantasy show, and it would still work. But I think Yojo Senki is my favorite isekai because nobody does like World War I-ish settings.
Yeah.
It's not a setting you see explored ever, except in like Gosek, and that was incidentally.
just incidentally.
There was only war for like 5 minutes in that show.
I'm sure there's a lot of people who wish that's how long war lasted. Anyways, and of course on the last note,
I mean, like in the show it lasted.
on the last note,
Anyway,
Konosuba is worth a watch no matter
Yes.
what if you want a good funny adventure series.
it is one of the funniest things I've ever seen in my life.
Yes. So, I don't think we've really come around to anything.
No, we've just like sort of established.
We have talked about nothing. We have become Seinfeld. This is a show about nothing.
Perfect. I've always wanted to be Seinfeld.
There's gotta be better things in life for you.
It's
to want
gold,
to
Jerry. Gold.
It's gold, Jerry. Gold. So I hope you enjoyed this, whatever the hell it was.
Killing time for 58 minutes.
I don't know. I'm just gonna say outright that I feel like this kind of thing I like listening to when I'm doing other things.
Yes.
So I'm hoping that for you out there, you're finding this to be just an entertaining, weird thing in the background while you do other stuff.
That's how I treat most YouTube videos. Really, it's just background noise while I'm
But
playing
especially a
video games.
podcast style thing too.
Where it's like the visuals don't really matter.
Yeah,
as
literally,
much.
you have no reason to watch this. You have no reason to watch this video. No, I didn't say that.
You have reason to listen to the video.
You have a reason to listen to the video, but you don't need to watch the video. So it's perfect to throw it in the background. Off you go.
Mm-hmm.
So I hope you guys have been enjoying this. We will be back in 2 weeks' time with another one.
Hopefully we can come up with something.
Actually, I have an idea already.
Cool.
Something we should have done this week, but
Cool.
something else came up with it.
Cool.
So, until next time, be good to each other, And bye.